time to harvest the potatoes that are planted in February. So we'll get on with it. We're pretty confident we've got a good harvest here. So we're going to pick potatoes and then plant something new.
Well, Dan says we're pretty confident, but truth be told, we weren't one bit confident until yesterday. Because yesterday we looked at this and thought everything was dead. So we planted these 12 weeks ago, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we planted these 12 weeks ago, and they should have been sort of ready for early potatoes. But the difference this year is that we chitted them, and that's probably given us a couple of weeks advantage, and they were more likely ready a couple of weeks ago. Now that we know they're good, we can certainly pick them. Do you want gloves?
Yeah.
I want to keep your hands nice and soft. Where's my gloves? Oh. They're so big. Normally, the reason we planted these in February is because our neighbours have always been planting them in February and we always felt we were too late. So this year we went ahead. But none of our neighbours planted their potatoes until, was it middle of April?
Yeah.
The middle of April. And the reason for that is because it has really not stopped raining since December. And their fields have been so wet they're unable to get their tractors in because everybody ploughs. And yeah, ours are ready. Most of theirs are looking really lush at the moment, but I guess it's they're going to have main crop potatoes. But enough talking, we need to get harvesting.
Might be some just here. I think this might be easier with
With a wee fork or something?
Yeah.
It is a gun bin. Look. Beautiful. So last night.
Here. Loads just here.
Oh yeah. So what are you going to make tonight?
Potatoes?
Yeah, but not the same as last night.
No.
Oh. Slug. Ugh. No, some of you think, do you never get slug damage? Well, there's a slug. Horrible. What are we doing with these? Oh, right. I don't think anything's going through that ground there. It's pure clay.
Okay.
Look. Look down. The build for that. So this is a piece of Nogueira walnut. Jose is back and he's now got, oh you can't see it, got the new lintel in here, and he's carrying on with the stonework up to there, the whole gable.
We've got quite a few self-seeded gifts just here. We've got a few tomatoes. We've got something which we thought might be chilies, but now we're reconsidering, we think they might be passion fruit. We've got some flowers, or at least we think they're flowers. They could be weeds, of course. So we'll let them grow on and see what they are. And then we've also got a physalis, or Cape gooseberry, or ground cherry. There's many different names for it. It's those orange fruits which grow inside a papery case. Oh, these are a different potato.
Yeah, I'll put these in this basket. Well, we've only bought the one variety, but maybe there was one sneak in. I'll have the white ones in here, please. I think this is a really good one. My goodness. It's a big harvest from one potato.
Oh yeah.
Am I in a bed? Am I standing in a bed?
Yeah. There's ones where your knees are.
Oh. Oh yeah. These are tomatoes, look.
I know.
But they're dead. They're dried out. There's nothing on them. They're not worth keeping them.
Yeah, smell that. That is dill.
Oh. Give me a bite. That's definitely dill.
We've been thinking for a while, what are we going to plant in this section after the potatoes come out? Because a lot of things already need to be well established by now, otherwise they will need a lot of water in order to get going, and we don't have enough water to keep everything watered. So we came up with sunflowers. Sunflowers, once they get established, don't need much water, and they don't need that much to get established either. We looked at packets of sunflower seed, and you get like half a dozen seeds and it costs you €2. So we asked in the agricultural shop, and they told us to take the bird feed. So we bought half a kilo of bird feed for €1, and we're planting bird seed. Will it grow? Will our bird seed grow into sunflowers? I'm hoping that these are the type of sunflowers that will face down. They'll always face the sun, but they face down more, and so the birds don't get them. And that is a type of sunflower that is grown for seed. And of course, you can always make sunflower oil out of the sunflower seed. So maybe we're going to make our own sunflower oil to complement our olive oil production. So I'm putting 2 seeds in each hole. We need to be about inch and a half deep. I'm just making a little hole in my hand, dropping a couple of seeds in, and then we'll firm the soil off over the top and water it all in. Well, we're off to look at some more granite. We came to have a look yesterday, and he certainly got a lot of granite, but we couldn't really see them. The grass was 6 foot tall.
6 foot? Yeah, it was 2 meters.
Yeah. And they were covered in brambles. But it's alright, he's going to get the machine out and clear around them so that we can actually see what there is. And hopefully they're a bit cheaper than the other ones we've seen.
Well, this year when we were picking the broad beans, I was explaining to Tim and Fatima what our plans were with the garden.
What have you got to plant now?
Courgettes.
What did you get? Courgette.
Yeah, we're not really doing seeds this year with the build. So bought everything from the market.
Courgettes are going where these beans have come out. Right, you've been planting.
I planted some berinjela, some...
Oh, okay.
And what else did I plant? Some cucumbers where those peas were finished.
Have you done the tomatoes yet?
No.
We've got them tomatoes, courgettes and chilies.
It's a bit early for tomatoes, is it not?
No, I've tomatoes in a few weeks as well. Oh, they even survived the light frost.
Goodness.
Surprisingly, I had them tucked in somewhere nice and sheltered.
Gosh.
As a test. And how we decided we wouldn't plant seeds, just direct sowing, because of the variation in temperature makes things very difficult to grow from seed, and we've discovered that planting things directly in the ground seems to do best. We've had our challenges this year. with the amount of rain we've had. And just to give you an idea, it's actually been 1,600 millimeters in the last year, so from April to April. And yeah, that's about double the normal average annual rainfall. So even more than we have in Donegal, despite me thinking I was moving to a drier country.
Well, that's a whole bed of peanuts planted. This is the second planting. The first planting didn't germinate. We did have quite a lot of cold nights, and there are various creatures who would like to eat them. So hopefully this planting will germinate and grow and thrive, and we'll be able to make our own peanut butter.
Well, it is a lot of rain, but it has had an effect on the garlic. So you can see for yourself. Come and see these garlics. Now we've got a few decent ones. They've all had rust. I said just before that we had a lot of rain this year. I've taken off most of the scapes in time, but it didn't really matter. But a very interesting thing happened today. So we were telling Prue that we were going to lift the garlic, and I think he said that we should just pick some of the garlic and leave the rest, and it'll just continue on to grow, and we never need to plant it again. And that's my kind of plant. So if you've had any experience growing garlic as a perennial, let us know and give us an idea what kind of climate you're in or what country you're from, which will really help us to decide if it's a similar climate to here. We really appreciate that. Thank you. So 2 years ago, I planted enough garlic to harvest to do us for the whole year, and enough to plant again the following year, which was last year. And I planted it in a different place, and I'll just show you here. You can see the soil is still wet. So anything that's been in too long is now starting to rot in the ground. So this is not a good year for garlic. So I'm not going to bother showing you anymore, just kind of giving you an idea. Some years are good, and as Rui said, years with 29 days in February may not be so good. I don't know if that's for everything, or it means that there's too much rain or whatever, but this is the only crop that's not been good this year. Everything else has been really good.
Also, we planted in a different place this year.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, we planted it down here on the second terrace, and it doesn't really get enough warmth or light in the winter. So I think that might have caused a bit of problems. Whereas previously we planted over at the top end of the food forest, and it did really well. It's a drier zone, and that seems to have worked better. They don't like being sitting in the wet, I can tell you that much for sure. But I'm going to replant some, maybe not these. Some of these have just stayed in the ground anyway. I'll leave them be because the stalks pulled off. And next year when we plant them, we're going to plant them back up in the top zone and just see if what Rui says happens, because all the other alliums seem to self-seed or do their own thing, so why wouldn't garlic? And if you want to see what happens next year, well, remember to follow along and hit the subscribe button. It's free.
This afternoon I'm going to clear some mimosa, or I'm going to harvest mimosa. The mimosa is quite a valuable resource to us and we have to clear it. It's an invasive species here. Nothing grows in the thicket of the mimosa forest. On the margins where we've begun clearing, we start to find little oak saplings and cork oak saplings and other small trees. The more we push the mimosa forest back, the more these little trees appear and start to grow. I've got a new blade for the strimmer, which is like a circular saw blade. It's pretty dangerous looking, but it certainly makes light work of getting through these mimosa trees.
Because they're not quite ready, but the voles have got these, so once the voles start there's no stopping them. Ground's starting to dry up already. Well, you've got the other half. This'll do us. Well, we still left some of the skinny ones in the ground. We'll just wait and see. Well, we're going to leave them here to dry on the very edge of the Ira because we haven't really got any space because it's a building site. And between the two of us, we stuck our forks into 4 of them, so they'll go home right away and be eaten. What are we making?
Stir fry with cabbage.
Okay. I think we showed that before.
Yeah.